With this session update, I'm Shannon Lurkey. Senator Michelle Benson and Representative Michael Howard held a bipartisan press conference to talk about legislation that may provide cost savings to the state for prescription drugs through the implementation of a reverse auction. Here's that media event.
Everyone, but in particular, Representative Howard, it is great to join you on bipartisan innovative legislation. We had a hearing on what we're calling reverse auction this week, and I believe Representative Howard is getting progress moving in the House, but I'll let him speak to that. What Representative Howard and I are trying to deliver for the people of Minnesota is an innovative way of purchasing our prescription drug package for our state employees. Other states have done this. New Jersey was a leader on this, and they have saved billions of dollars on their pharmacy benefit. Our state probably won't save billions of dollars. We are a smaller state and have fewer state employees, but New Hampshire anticipates significant savings. They recently implemented this, and they estimate $42 to $53 million in savings over the life of their 3-year contract. And so it's going to keep good benefits in place for our state employees, hold PBMs more accountable by having literally real-time claims adjudication instead of periodic audits. And we think that both our state employees and the taxpayers of Minnesota are going to benefit from this innovative idea. So Representative Howard, I'm glad to turn things over to you.
Thank you, Senator Benson. I too am excited to be here today. I didn't have carry a prescription drug bill with you on my 2021 legislative session bingo card, but I'm really pleased to be working together on this bill because any way you look at it, this issue comes up spades for Minnesotans. Utilizing this reverse auction process allows the state to leverage technology and innovation in order to get a better deal on prescription drugs for more than 100,000 Minnesotans. And in doing so, we take a more opaque contracting process and turn it into one that's more transparent, generating competition amongst our for-profit PBMs to, again, get a better result for Minnesotans. And so it is sort of win-win any way you look at it. And we know this based on the evidence we've seen in other states, as Senator Benson said. And so, the moment is now to take this approach, given the current schedule of contracting and how that works with the state. And so we're looking forward to move this forward and really feel like in a session where there's going to be a lot that is going to be contentious, we feel like this is an issue that we can garner some bipartisan support and do some really good work on behalf of Minnesotans. And with that, I suppose we could turn it over to any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Reporters, if there are questions, again, please raise your hand or drop it in the chat. All right, I've got a question already from Peter Callahan with MinPost. This is a new concept for him. Can you describe how it works?
Well, I'll take the first part of this. We start out by agreeing on a technology platform, and there are at least 2 vendors, but it looks like 3 vendors who would be able to serve as a technology platform for the state of Minnesota. We set terms of the contract, and then the PBMs start bidding on that platform. And as the bidding continues, their willingness to accept the technology and get the best value for claims adjudication lowers the price through a number of cycles. I believe New Jersey went through 3 cycles of bidding, and that means you start out with agreement on performance and then just argue about price or debate about price instead of debating about price and then negotiating contract terms after the fact. The other important thing about this technology platform is that it has virtually real-time claims adjudication. So right now, our PBM hasn't been audited yet, and they're in the midst of a 5-year contract cycle. New Jersey, over the course of I believe they're in their 3rd year now, has saved $47 million just from the claims adjudication audits. And so this technology platform is important, but it is the competitive declining cost bid that makes this unique.
Okay, next question from Shannon Lurkey with Senate Media. If it is an auction, could there be limits on drugs available? For example, would only generics and not name brand drugs, or would the same drugs perhaps not, would some drugs not be available?
And I don't want to take all the questions, so anything, Representative Howard, if you just want to unmute and take them. But right now, our state formulary is limited. Our state employee formulary is limited based on best value. It's not just generics, but you have to get good value for branded drugs as well. And sometimes there's a bundle of drugs that end up being best value. And so that's what this process would help to deliver. The PBM would look at the formulary that was needed by the state and bid then to get best value.
And the only thing I'd add there is based on the experience and what we've heard from New Jersey in terms of the experience for the consumer or for it has been very positive, you know, not just terms and price, but in terms of value of the product. There wasn't, you know, some hard shift to something new and different that was very problematic or in any way. That's why there's broad support in New Jersey and in our conversations with sort of all stakeholders about what this can generate in terms of value for the consumers.
All right, again, got some questions. I know I've got one off topic from Shannon. Shannon, I do see that. Let's see if there's anything currently on topic with the reverse auction. Again, raise your hand or drop it in the chat.
And just for Shannon, if you want to do an offline, you know how to get a hold of me, and we'll flex my calendar today for you.
Yeah, we can do that. Give it another minute. All right, here's a question. Brianna Veersbach from Star Tribune. She said she thinks she might have missed it because her audio dropped out, but what is the estimate on how much this could save Minnesota?
Well, Brianna, we don't have a fiscal note yet. New Jersey saved, they estimated 20 to 25%, and they are achieving that goal. Minnesota, we have talked to MMB and they said they've been really aggressive in their contracting, but we still think there is room. And so we haven't seen specific estimates, but even New Hampshire, which is a relatively small state, is looking at material savings in their employee program.
All right. And then if we quick want to do the question here, and certainly Representative Howard, your comments are welcome as well. Shannon is asking, do you have any comment on how the vaccine rollout has gone this far, especially in light of the changes announced this morning being eligible to 16 and plus? Do you have any comment on that? Got a few other folks who want to hear your thoughts, Senator Benson and Representative Howard.
Sure. The vaccine rollout clearly stumbled at the beginning. They changed who was leading, and I'll tell you, she has been more specific about reaching out to important partners in the vaccine rollout. We had good expertise in the community. When they started leaning on that expertise, instead of trying to make it a state centralized vaccine rollout, we saw increased traction. So in general, I'd give it a good level of success. I think the announcement of 16 and up is very good news for our ability to reopen the state much sooner than maybe a lot of people would have anticipated. And I just hope that as people flood in, everybody remembers there's only so much vaccine coming. And so a little bit of patience is going to go a long way.
Yeah,
ahead, Representative Howard.
I would, I think like anything, there was a ramp up, but it's been great to see the state, I think, be responsive to the increased supply we're seeing. It is exciting. I'm hearing from constituents that are excited to be able to sign up to get vaccinated. That includes me. But as Senator Benson mentioned, there is a bit of an opening of the floodgates. There isn't going to be an ability for everyone this moment to get a shot. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from the administration how they plan to do that. And And I'm also looking forward to how we're really going to continue. I'm glad we're opening this up to everybody, but we also need to continue to find ways to specifically target our communities of color and communities that where we need to see some improvement. And I know that there's plans in way under that as well, but I share in the optimism and hope that we see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you. All right, I did get a question from Brian Baxt about the reverse auction. Are you anticipating any resistance from drug providers?
Well, I don't know, Representative Howard, how many you've talked to. I talked to a lot of people in the healthcare space. So far, no resistance. What New Jersey experienced, their resistance came from internal folks at their equivalent of MMB who didn't necessarily trust the idea, and then their existing PBM. There was resistance as well, both which you would expect, and I think both that can be overcome. The more we see this tested out, and the more it is based on your ability to provide value and service, I think those concerns, I don't want to say set aside, but become, they don't bear out.
And I would just add, with any sort of change, the natural presumption is there's going to be folks that are hesitant or what have you. But in a way, it's sort of where it's a win on both sides of the coin is by moving to this process, we're going to have a more transparent competition amongst our PBMs. And so I think in terms of the industry folks, there's something to like in that. They'll have the ability to compete. And then on the flip side of it, on behalf of the Minnesota taxpayers and folks that have this benefit, they're able to see a benefit and hopefully lower premiums and lower copays. And it's important that these savings will be passed on to Minnesotans, and that's what we've seen in New Jersey. And so it really feels like a win-win as long as we can work with our stakeholders and sort of meet some of those obstacles. I think we can overcome them, as Senator Benson said, and it makes sense.
Great. Another question from Shannon Lurkey. Can the reverse auction idea be extrapolated into the private sector market?
I did check with our regulated fully insured market. There's nothing prohibiting this in the fully insured market. Something that I do want to make sure is possible after we get this implemented. We have something, our co-op model in healthcare is unique. I want to make sure that this is an authorized activity, not compelled, but authorized. But there's nothing to prohibit this kind of activity in our regulated insurance markets.
Okay, I'll give it one last call here. If you have a question, raise your hand or drop it in the chat. All right, seeing none, thank you all. Please, if there's any follow-up, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Nathaniel with Representative Howard's office. We're happy to answer any other questions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
To continue following these issues and more, watch legislative coverage Monday through Friday on the PBS Minnesota channel or visit our website, www.senate.mn/media.